What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Half Chrome, and right now there are, I think, 4 drones that you should probably consider if you're looking to get into aerial photography. That actually doesn't include this, the Neo. This is 200 bucks. I think this is a great beginner drone, but what I want to focus on today are drones that I think you can take really good pictures and video. If you're looking to document things, if you're looking to take real estate photos, if you're looking to just get really good pictures and video. And I think these drones allow you to kind of grow into the hobby, and if you want to push it into a profession, you can do that. Now, I picked these 4 drones at 4 different price points, and they have some pros and some cons, and I'm going to kind of walk you through that. 2 of these drones are mini drones. That means they're less than 250 grams. They don't have to be registered with the FAA, and they aren't subject to remote ID. 2 of these drones have 2 cameras, meaning you have a whole lot of flexibility when you're flying a drone that has 2 separate cameras. These 2 are both made by DJI and sold by DJI. This is the Mini 4 Pro, and this is the Air 3S. And I think these are both really excellent drones, kind of at the top end and kind of in the middle. And these 2 drones are made by DJI, but sold by Specta, which comes with some serious advantages and one small disadvantage. This is the Specta Air, and this is the Specta Mini. So my goal is to talk about these 4 drones so that you can make a decision to figure out what is the best drone for you in 2025. Sure, there are plenty of other really good drones out there, but I think these 4 really kind of fill the niches that you're probably going to be in. And I'm going to start with this. This is the Specta Mini. Yes, it's made by DJI. It shares the same specs as the Mini 4K. The big advantage is buying from Specta. There are 2. 1, it is less expensive right now. This drone is on sale for 220 bucks. It's generally 270, so pretty decent discount right now. The big advantage of buying this Specta Mini versus, say, the DJI Mini 4K is that Specta drones do not have geofencing, meaning you can fly them wherever you want to fly them, and the software isn't going to limit that. So you have to be the responsible person involved, and I'm going to assume that you are. This guy's got a flight time of 31 minutes, a range of over 6 miles. That's 10,000 meters. It's using the OcuSync 2.0 system to do that. And like I said, it is less than 250 grams, so you don't have to register this and you don't have to worry about remote ID. Unless, of course, you're doing it professionally, then you got to do both of those things. You can shoot 4K at 30 frames a second. There is no log on this drone. And the sensor, this is the smallest sensor on any drone that I'm going to talk about today. It's a 1/2.3 inch sensor, which means that this one is going to be really good in most situations. Daylight, bright days, but it's going to struggle in nighttime situations. I'm going to show you pictures and video from all of these drones, and then I'm going to compare them all at night, because that is where kind of the differences start to appear. Sure, the other cameras are going to be better than this, but this is a pretty solid camera, and I think it's going to do pretty much everything most people need. Now, is it the best? Absolutely not. Is it the best bang for your buck? I think so. Under $300, you're not going to find a drone that takes pictures and videos like this one. Now, the big disadvantage of this, it's sold by Specta, which means you can't use DJI batteries in this. Even though they look the same, they seem to be compatible, they're not. You got to order from Specta, and Specta batteries aren't always the easiest to come by. Right now they're in stock, but they go out of stock from time to time. So that's kind of the major disadvantage. But a key tip, send Specta an email. Right, I'll throw a link down below. That's the best way to get batteries. Okay, so the next mini drone that I'd recommend is this is the Mini 4 Pro, and the camera on this one is so much better. You're also going to get obstacle avoidance sensors on here, which means you can now do some active track, some follow me and things like that. Yes, the Specta Mini does have some different quick shots and intelligent flight modes, but this one takes it up a notch when we add this obstacle avoidance. Now, it is a lot more expensive at $750, the base package, and moving up to about $1,100 for the Fly More combo with the RC2, with the remote control with the built-in screen. You get a flight time of 34 minutes. Now, if you opt for the extended battery, you can get over 45. Now, that does put this drone over 250 grams. So if you buy it as is, you don't have to worry about registering with the FAA because it's a light guy. Now, the range is double that of the Specta Mini at over 12 miles, 20,000 meters. That's impressive. Now, can you really fly that far? No, nor should you. But that's just going to kind of ensure that you have a really good positive signal. And it does that using the DJI O4 system. Now, like I said, this obstacle avoidance is awesome. It does a pretty good job. It is not the best out there because these sensors, they're all kind of in the front and angled out there. It does a pretty good job, but it is not perfect. It's not something you can rely on. Now, this will shoot great 4K pictures. I can even tilt this camera, do vertical, and I can do horizontal with this camera, which is really cool. And it'll do 4K up to 100 frames a second, which is pretty impressive. And I can shoot in D-Log-M or HLG. That just means I can do some more professional grade stuff. Now, this sensor is bigger. It's a 1/1.3 inch sensor, so it's absolutely going to outperform the Specta Mini in lower light situations. It's a great drone, a good beginner drone, and really does a whole lot, especially for a drone in this size. This is a great thing to take with you on vacation because it is so light and small and portable, and definitely something I would consider if I was doing that. But I was going professional and I wanted to make money with my drone. This is a good backup drone, but I'd probably opt for one of these next two drones that I'm going to talk about. The first one is this. This is the Specta Air. Yes, it is the same as the DJI Air 3 with the dual camera system, dual 1/1.3 inch sensor cameras. We've got the full obstacle avoidance. We've got the sensors in the back. We've got the sensors in the front. It does all of those intelligent flight modes and active track and things like that. Now, this is a bigger, heavier drone, and it's really pretty darn capable. I think some of the best pictures and video we've ever gotten have come out of this Specta Air. You can get up to 46 minutes of flight time now. Keep in mind, all the flight times they've given you are the manufacturer specs. So are you really going to get 46 minutes? No, but you're going to push 40 minutes in most situations on this drone. Same thing kind of goes for range, right? This is a 20,000 meter range. That's over 12 miles. Are you really going to fly that far? I mean, in a perfect scenario, maybe, but listen, perfect scenarios don't really exist, so don't try to fly 12 miles away. That's ridiculously far. You'd need a waiver from the FAA to do so legally anyway, but that impressive range just means you're gonna have a really good signal even if you go behind trees or behind a building or something. Just kind of helps keep that fidelity nice and high. Now, this is 720 grams, so you do have to register with the FAA, and if you're going professional, you have to do that anyway. It also can do 4K at 100 frames a second, and this is an impressive drone. Both of these cameras are impressive. We've got a wide angle lens, we've got a telephoto lens, so you can kind of zoom in, get some really crisp images, but this is just a fantastic drone and a workhorse. Now, the big advantage of the Specta Air versus the Air 3 is this one does not have geofencing. Geofencing is limiting where you can fly. You can fly this thing anywhere you want. You just have to be responsible. So that is a big deal for a lot of people that fly in areas where geofencing can become a problem. And if that's you, well, the Specta Air is the best drone that you can get that kind of avoids that issue. Now, again, you can't just use DJI batteries in this thing. You have to use a Specta battery, and they're not always in stock. I think they are right now, so that's good. But, you know, things like propellers or even chargers, you can use DJI things for that. It's just the batteries that are not compatible. The remotes are not compatible. You have to buy a Specta battery. You have to buy a Specta remote. This is, I think, the best drone that you can buy right now. This is the DJI Air 3S, and sure, I have a Mavic 3. It has a bigger sensor. It is a really impressive drone, but I would still opt for this. It's a little bit smaller, and I think the performance is basically on par. I tested this against the Mavic 3, even in low light situations, and I think they're basically the same. I wouldn't necessarily give this or that the edge, but the Mavic 3 with its 4/3 sensor should be better, but this 1-inch sensor on the main camera for this Air 3 is just phenomenal. The telephoto lens is a 1/1.3 inch sensor, so that also does really well. Two great cameras on this drone. Again, you have the full obstacle avoidance on it, plus LiDAR. So this one is going to be even better in terms of tracking and avoiding obstacles. You get that same 20,000 meter range, that's 12.4 miles, and a flight time of 45 minutes. So starting at $1,100 and the Fly More combo with the fancy remote being $1,600, that's just, it's a great deal. And I don't know that you really need anything better than this. This is just impressively good. So I've been showing video from each of these drones as I talk about each of these drones, but let's look at some comparisons, kind of looking at these drones side by side, especially in these lower light situations where I think that is where you're going to kind of notice the difference in the sensor size. So as we look at these 4 videos, I think it's very clear that the one on the bottom right, the Specta Mini, that's the darkest. You're not seeing as much. And the one in the upper left, Air 3S, that one's the best. The other 2, they're pretty comparable. This is another video here. I'm not moving the drone, it's just stationary. And I'm gonna zoom in here and you can kind of see the same thing, right? The Air 3S, great. The Specta Mini, not great. The Specta Air Mini Pro, they're comparable, right? They have similar sensors, so that's gonna be pretty similar. Now, when we get outside, the differences aren't nearly as stark. You know, I tried to get a similar shot here, and I apologize. I did not record the Mini 4 here. But in daylight, right, this is the Specta Mini here, it looks great. It's going to look really good. In well-lit situations, the sensor size isn't nearly as important. Now, I think the Specta Air here does look a little bit better, but not like vastly, like incredibly better. And then as we get to the Air 3S, you know, it's a really good drone, but it's going to be hard, especially if you're looking at YouTube. So the question is, what is your purpose? Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. If it was, give us a thumbs up. If you're looking for one of these drones, we have links down below. They're affiliate links. They help support the channel. I get a little commission so I can keep making videos for you. And if you want to go pro, you're looking for study material, we've got all sorts of good stuff. I teach a class on how to pass the Part 107, and I made some videos for Patreons. Links to that stuff in the description down below as well. Thanks for watching. Good luck, everyone, and happy flying.